everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. I'm MaryAnne. Welcome to your Sun Sign Love Connection readings for today. Today we are on the featured sign of Capricorn as I go around my zodiac wheel for the second time mid-month readings. And today is March 29th, 2021. It is a Monday. It's the beginning of a whole new week, although actually Sundays legitimately start the week. And lo and behold, we had the beautiful full moon in Libra yesterday, the 28th. And so I'm sure a lot of you are still taking in that powerful energy. What does that mean exactly? Well, first of all, we're on the sign of the featured sign today, I should say, of Capricorn. And for all signs, it's about, I guess, first and foremost, balance. And then when you recognize that it's in the sign of Libra, then it goes further into relationships. It's very, very key and directed towards the powerful influences in our relationships. And I'm speaking of all types of relationships and absolutely love in all forms. And if it's not with a person, I always want to remind you that it could certainly be in your self-evolution. It could be in your inspirations, your intentions, with whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, and with whom you want to do it with. It's there to really, really shine a light. The full moons always do. Full moons tend to be culminations. But as I always say, the endings of things that need to go for the betterment of us, whether it be simply, excess stuff around your house, an actual relationship, the parting of a job and all that sort of thing, is for the beginning of a new thing, right? So it's a beautiful, gorgeous thing. And so that's a powerful influence that's happening. It's still happening because I feel it. I feel it because I get this, I don't know, it feels like anxiety, I guess. I'm not really one to have major anxiety issues, though I have in the past year more than ever. It reminds me of having too much caffeine kind of feeling. So that can bring excitement if you choose to bring it on that level, right? You don't want to make it so it's necessarily something that's preventing good things, right? You want to look at it and go with it in a way and just sort of take in that deep breath and say, I'm going with this. I like to say I'm riding the wave of sorts. That's something that comes to my mind when I feel this way. Because I understand in my own way, as far as the feeling aspect of things, that it's the new, it's the unknown, that brings that kind of feeling. And that's what the moon can do as well. But for you, Capricorn, because you are the featured sign, for those that are new, welcome to my channel. I really appreciate you stopping in. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. I pick one featured sign, so that I can read to them about all their connections, but then I also have Spirit help me right in front of you. So it's very spontaneous and very current with what's happening in the energies and so forth this moment. The highlighted. So let's do that right now. For the beautiful sign, all the Capricorns, your highlighted connection, which also means I'll be reading 3 additional messages under 3 major categories. With my beautiful deck that I've been using for the mid-months now, I brought out again the Gilded Tarot. Phenomenal. If you're ever interested and you want to look it up and see. I've always loved the feeling of it and just the energy that comes off of it for me. So oh, you son of a gun. I'm going to check real quick. I just like to do this sometimes. It's just the Scorpio in me. Not my sun sign, but I do have predominant Scorpio energies. So it's about delving in a little deeper, and I like to let you know what your beginning of the month reading was, Capricorn, and what your featured highlighted sign, I should say. So for now, it would be Gemini, which is wonderful. And what you had was Libra. So there's a theme here. And that's why I like people that if you're new or if you're coming back, thank you for coming back, always. Thank you for supporting my channel, subscribing, liking, all the beautiful things you're doing, commenting. It's really kind of neat to look at the beginning of the month and then the midway as well, if you want to remind yourself or see where it's going. It's like that storyline that keeps going on. And so for you, Capricorn, you're very involved in air element, and you're really taking that in because it's quite different than what you are. As an earth element yourself, Capricorn, you are just Well, let's see. You are very grounded. You are very practical. You are absolutely one of the most patient, calm, you know, the calm in the storm kind of energy. I find many Capricorns are serious, kind of stoic in their, you know, demeanor, their energy, and my gosh, they have the ruling planet of Saturn, and that is a very serious, you know, kind of, we title him the taskmaster, keeps us on track, keeps us focused, keeps us from going outside the lines too much, all very, very, very much a part of who I believe and most Capricorns I've ever met are like. And that's because you've had that influence your whole life. So you're used to it. You work well with it. You actually succeed very well because of it. You know, when we do stay on target and we do dedicate ourselves to whatever our particular focus is, it's only going to come out better in the end. It just truly is. And you're just familiar with this. I mean, for you being an earth sign, Capricorn, it's about your material world, right? It's everything you can see, feel, touch, all the things that you do to create that and then see and reap the benefits for. That's your main focus. You do represent the sign of the goat. And so basically, you know, that's that beautiful mammal that just strives to get up that mountain no matter what, doesn't think about the difficulties, doesn't think about the circumstances sometimes, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense because you really are quite, I would say, premeditative about a lot of things. You do, like I said, focus and you strategize, and you're a go-getter. Let me tell you, for being an earth sign that's pretty darn, you know, laid back in a lot of ways and everything, you have so much energy and so much drive. And it is because you're a cardinal sign as well. Cardinal sign meaning that you initiate a specific season, and you, being Capricorn, initiate winter. Once again, the barren, the part of time where we just, everything kind of goes away and we lose, and life as we know it kind of falls apart, and then it starts over again in spring, like we're in right now in the season of Aries. The first sign of the zodiac, the first basic beginning of a new year in astrology. And that just happened, you know, on the 20th of March. So we're just getting our energies back. The newness is coming through. You, like I said, Capricorn, you're an initiator and you love to get the ball rolling, boy. You like keeping busy. You work really, really hard, you know, and that would be the main thing I would say right off the bat with this full moon, is bringing into perspective again and being really honest with yourself. How is your balance between your work life and your relationships, between your personal life and your relationships, and, you know, and so on and so forth. It's really vital. It's essential that we all kind of review that in our lives, I think, especially when it comes to relationships. So that's what's happening a lot. And then, so I've mentioned, of course, you're the cardinal. You are the, you know, you're ruled by Saturn, excuse me. And it just so happens, you know, Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius the entire year, and will be actually through, I think, March of 2023. It tends to say it's a slower outer moving planet. It's very important, but it goes slow around the Earth. So, you know, there's more time to work through and so forth. And in each sign, it represents something different. So now it's in Aquarius, and that is an air sign, and that's the mind, and that's new, and it's inventive, and it's, you know, kind of out of the box, like not conservative, absolutely the opposite, you know, unconventional. And it's something that kind of really intrigues you, but regardless of whether it does or not, it's going to affect you for the next 2 years, because Saturn is your ruling planet. Saturn is also in Aquarius. So there's that kind of, you know, attaching, there's the compatibility in a sense is what I'm trying to say. And the fact that you got your highlighted connection of Gemini, it just reinforces that, because it's also an air sign. And Gemini is all about communication. So I'm seeing a theme for you about the romantic, the partnership aspect with this full moon in very, very strong, you know, persuasive energy coming out for all of us for a couple of weeks and longer. but also the Gemini. I mean, we're coming into our first series of eclipses starting in May. It'll start Sagittarius and then Gemini, and there'll be another. There's a series, they change every year and a half. Another Gemini influence. Another reason in your mind, and I do mean mind because the air is the mind, it's the information, it's the masculine, it's the expression, it's how we express in all different forms. And the ability to speak and to be able to really work through any kind of challenges or difficulties you may have in that area and to grow. And you love that. You love learning. You love being successful. Anytime you do anything, Capricorn, it's with the idea to succeed. And I'm telling you, you generally always do. So that's the beautiful aspect about you. And like I said, you are true blue. You like natural things. I find a lot of Capricorns are very, simplistic. They love living off their gardens of vegetables and things, and they get their hands in the soil. They like that natural part. They love nature. They love, all sorts of things that have to do with just the real, genuine Mother Gaia, kind of healing, beautiful, natural aspects of life. So when you get with Gemini, the two of you can come up with so many interesting ideas. And Gemini is about, once again, communicating to the max. I mean, out of all the air signs, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the mind. It's the movement, the commerce, the networking, the building, the expression, and wanting to share this with others and have them understand, what you're trying to teach, and you do a really good job of that, Gemini. So this is it can be a wonderful companionship or partnership on all different levels. And I love it because, once again, air is up here, earth is down here. So the difference in itself is very complementary because it helps to balance you out. Geminis tend to need that grounding. They're everywhere and everything, and they're a mutable sign. So they're constantly thinking about new things and new ways to write, to speak, and to converse is what I was about to say. They're on the move all the time. They love and appreciate your calm, steady, I don't know, just very, very centered kind of energy. It works really well together. So let us read the three major categories with this highlighted connection before I go on to the oracles. And I did add a rune because it's new. So what I do is I pick a rune to kind of just, I like to say, cement the messages coming through. There's three, and they're, like I said, under three categories. The first being the overall energy bringing you to this reading thus far, what's happening, how the feelings are, and so forth. And then after I've read the three categories, the rune will be certainly for the highlighted, but it then goes on into all of your connections again, okay? So that everybody gets a reading, and hopefully you resonate right away, but you don't always, Give it some time. Sometimes when it's so strong, like at the beginning of the new moon and stuff, the day of the new moon or day before and after isn't the day you want to necessarily start something, initiate. You have to kind of let the dust settle, as it were, and kind of take in the energy so that it kind of acclimates to your body and your emotions and such. But so what I'm hearing and seeing right now, and what I'm going to express to you with your overall energy for the two of you, beautiful Capricorn and Gemini, is the Queen of Wands. There's the fire. There's the Aries. There's the Aries season we're in. There's the motivation, and I'll tell you something, there's the power, the strength, and the confidence to do it. Now, when it is a queen versus a king, their maturity is absolutely there. It doesn't really matter about the gender, other than to say the queens are more of the internal, the more of our incredible ability to understand our intuition. Okay, that's known as the feminine in all of us, because we all have it, and we all have the duality in us. But the queens represent absolute strength and will and motivation and spirit, but also in a way that they feel internally driven to absolutely help. There's a need to want to help not only themselves, but those around them, and they will do everything they can to make that happen. The passion is incredibly strong. strong, you know, fire. It just burns and lights up situations. It can burn off situations and completely, you know, I wanted to say destroy, but, you know, end it and completely just allow it to just dissolve so that the new comes in as well, which is also beautiful. It happens, you know, naturally in forests and places like that, for an example. It can happen in a relationship. Something that needs to be completely taken away to build for a better relationship certainly would come into this, but in a beautiful, loving, and certainly passionate way, right? And that you can take that wherever you need to. So you're feeling the energy, you're feeling the aliveness, you know, you're realizing it's time to get things going. And I don't know what that is for you. There's so many ways that could apply to you. But you've got this power and it's really working in your favor. And so I just feel a real sense of, well, joy, really, just, and passion keeps coming to mind, because that's what happens when you really feel that fire for someone, right? And that desire to want to motivate and to move into another level, maybe just keep it moving up. That maturity is there. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's what's happening for you. And if not, give it some time. We got a new moon happening on, what is it, the 11th of April? That's once again about the new aspects and the things you're talking about, but then initiating and really putting it together and really making it happen versus just the talking aspect. That's what fire does. It's motivated. It's like, this is happening. Aries is like always that way, right? They don't necessarily think or stop. They just have an idea. They go full tilt ahead like a ram, you know, the ram that they are. Ram into things, and then if it's not 100%, they're like, okay, we'll go this way then. We'll try this. They don't give up. And they all are also the cardinal, like you are, Capricorn. So there's a lot of ideas and a lot of ways to initiate and to start things and to take them to a place we haven't before, and not to stop or give up or even imagine that anymore. So that's beautiful. I love it, and it's wonderful for all sorts of, like I said, relationships. And then you have the second category, which is the overall possible blessings or obstacles that's happening at this time. And you have judgment. So that's a major arcana. Now, judgment is very, very important. It's a karmic kind of feeling that always comes through for me, versus the Justice card, which is Libra. You know, the full moon, things working in your favor, you know, something that has to be done in a fair and justified way. Could have to do with, you know, courts or, you know, some kind of institutions of any legal, or even, I always take it to even, you know, when it has to do with institutions like hospitals or your doctors and things like that. Just understanding the judgment is done. It's already taken place. It's an occurrence that had to be. It's for your the betterment of you and your situation. And, you know, it's calling, the harps and the horns are being sung and tooted, because it's a celebration. There's the fire and ambition to make something occur, and the judgment and decision is there. So in regards to relationships, you're feeling sound, and you're feeling like it's something that you maybe have experienced in other lifetimes, or that you felt, like I said, karmically or just serendipitously is absolutely there, and for the reasons it needs to be there, if that makes sense. It's your inner calling, your inner knowing, your ability to make sound judgments, you know? And that's not always easy. I'm not saying that, but it's something that I feel you're feeling extremely grounded and good about. So there you go. I mean, I just, that once again, that could be a plethora of different things that are happening. But what I'm saying is that it's already done. It's like a choice and a decision that had been made, and it feels right. And the fire, you know, It's just this motivation. You're feeling incredibly driven, very, very driven, which isn't unusual for you, Capricorn, or you either, Gemini. For heaven's sakes, I've known Geminis that just, they burn the midnight oil. They just don't stop. Only thing I would say is just make sure that you do watch the balance in everything, in your health and your well-being, in the time you put out to people and the energy you put out to people and what you're getting back and so forth. All a part of this Libra influence, you know, valuing that. The final category is the category of finances, because when you know how important that is to you, and it really is, Capricorns, but it's important to everybody. I feel like it's most important to you because you're so good at that. You know how to manage money. You know, in this three-dimensional world, it's essential. It is an energy, and it's how we bring it in. It's what we feel about it, how we value it. Once again, you know, the judgments. How are we investing our money and our time and so forth? So the card that's coming to you for all the Geminis and Capricorn is the Ace of Cups. Wow. So you have this fiery, passionate situation happening. You feel so much, you know, I want to say elevation is coming up. You know, elevation, motivation, inspiration, innovation, all the things that matter when you're fired up and really want to see something happen. And then you have this judgment and this choice, and you've made it. And then now you know that because of this, and because of the sound feeling that it has for you, it's bringing you in this great new opportunity for money, for fulfillment, for creative endeavors. You know, because yes, the cups are water. They're the water element. There are emotions. There are deepest emotions. There are our feelings about love, our feelings about connections, our feelings about relationships, right? But also it's about knowing our worth once again, and knowing that we can create and manifest anything. And there's the cup to show us there's a gift, there's an opportunity. I mean, we can take it or not. This is always free will. These are just messages that come, you know, with this beautiful oracle of the divination of the Tarot that combines the planets in its own right, and you know, the differences of personalities, like I said, in astrology, and the sun signs and the moon and all the other beautiful planets that you have in each individual chart that you have. But this is fulfillment on an emotional level, on a spiritual and physical. So yes, good things coming, good possibilities for new levels of commitment. You've made the choice, you're feeling good about it, you're feeling passionate, you're feeling, you know, the intimacy, all of it's working. And now just bringing in this gift and taking it on, just feeling extremely grateful and appreciative at the same time. It's new, it's about the newness, isn't it? It's all coming back to the newness of the Aries, the time to really, every year it's the same. Get that energy in the air, you know, days are longer. It's all so beautiful and so supportive of times to make change and to get that energy back and to do whatever it takes to do so, because you're fired up and you're not going to take no for an answer. So I'll leave it at that. I absolutely love it. But let me pick the rune that's going to, like I say, be the cherry on the Sunday for your reading, because it's been pretty unbelievable. I love the runes, once again, as many tools that we can use to guide us, you know, and to really send forth some beautiful, positive, uplifting. And even if it's not something that sounds necessarily good, it's because it wants to share with us, this is what you could do and this might happen, so consider it, right? Okay, so you have, I haven't memorized these at all. I mean, it's going to take a while. Here's the little book. On the back, it shows the actual pictures and the number. So what I've pulled for you is, where is it? Okay, Hagalaz, Hagalaz. And these are beautiful amethysts. This is a beautiful, beautiful stone, of course, that helps to ward away negative energy. It helps to heal all circumstances, and I love and always have. I'm wearing a lot of deep purple today. because it just makes sense as a Libra, and the energy I'm feeling from the moon, and will be, makes me truly want to get to the third eye aspect of my life, and the intuition and the truth, and to balance, balance, balance. Something we're always striving to do. Let me read to you what it says, though, under Hagalaz. It's actually a number, making things a little simpler. It's number 9. Huh. Interesting. All right. Between the period of October 29th to November 12th, interesting, something to take note about. The words behind this are response, sacrifice, prudence, solitude, dommage. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. What the heck? I'm sorry, I'll get back to you on that, because certain pages have it. Yeah, sorry. That was the French section. We'll redo this for 1 second. Here we go. October 29th to November 12th. From 8:30 p.m. to 9:29 p.m. Response, sacrifice, caution, solitude, worries, damage, debts, unexpected and initially unwanted birth. Okay, well, I didn't expect to get that, but I will tell you, once again, right now the gut feeling, the messages coming are that, yes, you have the fire, you have the judgment and the choices you made, karmic. You have the ability and the gifts being brought to you to produce, to manifest to your heart's desire. What do you want to do? And then you have to remember, with every single gift and every single beautiful aspect of our life, there are times that can bring in just the opposite. It's the balance. It's not going to be overly this, it's not going to be the overly negative, but there are aspects that can come up and, just kind of make you go, whoa, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that. Well, let me tell you, we have Uranus, the planet of unexpected, unpredictable, surprises out of the blue, knock your socks off, change your world. That's the ruling planet of Aquarius that we're going to be in this entire year. Not to mention, Capricorn, we have Uranus in the planet of Taurus for the next, till 2024, 25? It always stays in about 7 years per sign. And that's very complimentary to you because it's a fellow earth sign, but nonetheless, it's unpredictability. So when you think you're doing great, be your beautiful Capricorn self, balance, make sure you're not over extravagant, which I don't know that you would be, but with the highlighted of Gemini, they are very extravagant and they love to have fun and they love to spend. That's a combination and a conversation that you need to have together, right? To make it work. And you do, and you will. I've seen it many, many times. Just putting that out there. So yeah, it's just reminding you that just being aware, being truthful and making sure that you are preserving the things you need and want. It's important. And I think a lot of us learned that last year. I know I did. Because it took us by storm, right? Well, Taurus is in Uranus last year. Taurus is a sign of money, so really affected a lot of our money, but it's also balancing itself out, which is what will happen. It's just the laws of life. When something goes down, the only way it can go is up, right? So I feel predominance of beautiful, wonderful, positive energy. And to be aware and to realize there can be changes at any time when we never really know, but to think it's positively and have trust and faith in the process. And say that as many times as you can is also very helpful to keep that energy on that kind of realm. So I hope that helped you and that made sense. I'm going to go on to read your 2 oracles now. This is for every single beautiful Capricorn and every single one of your relationships, okay? So if the Gemini wasn't the one you were looking for, you're not even aware of that relationship yet, could be possibly coming, but we're going to read for every single sign so that each one has an opportunity to get a message. So this is the beautiful Psychic Tarot of the Heart, very appropriate for the full moon in Libra and also for our relationships, right? And your message is, challenging times. You know, I mean, for heaven's sakes, yes. Yes and yes. Are we growing like crazy in the last year and so forth, and continuously now as we work through everything and try to sort things out? Yes. Does it feel good that we got here? Absolutely. And do we have blessings in every moment? Absolutely. But it's purple. And that's the third eye. That's your ability to manifest and to really have the perspective you choose to see things as you choose, and then make it real, make it happen. It comes from within. So let me see what it says. 5 is challenges. The number 5. Forget about it. I've always said to people that are watching me, I'm going to write an ebook at least, because the number 5 in myself is my life path number. Anytime something dramatically, really, really hard or difficult has happened, and life-changing, because that's what happens. You have to go through these cycles, right, and patterns and various things. Always on a 5. Always on the date that ends with 5. It's just phenomenal. So that's what 5 is. But it's also growing and expansion, you know, and it can be exciting and it can be beautiful, because we have to continue to grow or we're not living. So anyway, the message I will read to you, whoops, and I'll mention that this beautiful deck has cards that represent the major arcana, your chakras, and also every single element. So the indigo, which is what this is, oh no, I'm sorry, it would be the violet. It's spirit, it's the wands, it's the fire again. It's the challenges. And you know, you can work through anything, Capricorn. You're just that way. Nothing will stop you, okay? If I'm going to be completely real with you, the element of air is not your, what am I trying to say? It does create a challenge, but that can be kind of cool. People like that. And I think you're one of those people, versus a fellow, maybe fellow earth sign, which would be very compatible. And a trine, as they call it, and a water sign works really well too. But the air, it keeps you going, kind of spurs your interest, kind of opens that mind. That's what it's about, right? And people love that. I know many relationships and the people I've read for that they want that. It spurs them to greater heights. So let me see what I can do for you here to read this. And yeah, spirit, right here, number 5. And it says, keywords are ego, conflict, challenges, and competition. So what else is new, right? In the world of life, when you want to get places and do things. Human ego can be helpful when it provides us with a sense of self, value, and purpose. Kind of the judgments we've made and what we choose that to be, you know, whatever course you may be taking. However, the ego can also lead to problems when it seeks to build itself up at the expense of others, of course. Quarrelsome energies may be in the air at this time. The moon can do that, but only to help to heal in the end. It'll bring things up that need attention. It shines that light in those areas, right? To make for a more solid foundation. You may find yourself either instigating disagreements or being pulled into them by others. Step back and examine the real issues behind the conflict. You may find that it is more about being right now than it is about what is right. I always like hearing that, because it's a really, I don't know, you know, we go through our life and we do the best we can, and then, you know, we go through these times that are not necessarily fun, or they may be challenging, but then after we look in hindsight and go, wow, I really learned something, and I feel like I'm better for it in some way, right? And sometimes it takes a while to get there, but a lot of times it can be quick. And it just makes you feel stronger. It really, truly does. So, yeah, not always having to be right is important. And it just depends on where you are in your life path, right? And I think eventually, before we pass and we leave this planet, because we never leave, we're just leaving the planet, right? We're just transcending to another dimension and so forth. But it's just a situation where you, things change, your priorities change as to what really matters and what's important. And I think a lot of times being right is not your priority at some point. Could be wrong though. I'm going to read your last oracle, and that is the super attractor manifestation. And that's about actually feeling the life that we choose into existence. That's the long and the short of it, but it is the law of attraction, and it has to be completely congruent with all your other feelings and your thoughts and your beliefs and what you feel, because what you feel is what you bring in. Even if it's subconscious, we do it all the time. I like to be conscious about it because I messed myself up a few times that way. And then when I listen to my self-talk, because I'm usually able to do that, I have alone time quite a bit. I'm a little disappointed at times. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. And then I really honestly have been working on that more and more. And I think it's truly helping because I need to right now. I'm going to put it out there to you. Lots has been going on. Your beautiful message for this transformational, beautiful life you can, manifest says, the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. And there you go, back to love, because it's the most powerful energy in the universe, and it does the most magical and beautiful and healing and just fulfilling things. And I don't think you can ever have enough, but I think you certainly have a lot to give, and I know you're lovable, and I know you're enough, and I know you are very, very loyal and very, very caring, Capricorn. So I appreciate you taking the time now. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and that this is going to maybe sink in or kind of resonate as time goes on, because there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful messages here for you. So until next time, and I hope there will be, come on back, like, subscribe, share. Have a beautiful, beautiful time. Take good care, and bye for now.